Corbyn, thank you so much, honestly. Like, I love you so much.
Read a poem.
I want you to be my granddaddy. In fact, we have written poems for Jeremy that we are going to read out on here. You know what, yeah? You need to actually stop with this, your adult finds around hay fever, because every time you come here, despite all the things you recommend, you still are fighting for your life.
Can I just say, Dream Doll's UK representative said to me that there's a spray you can spray around the house that helps fight against the pet allergies. She said she'll send it to me when she finds it. She saw it on TikTok.
Because you were there.
100% on the video call. I was like, sorry, bear with me.
Are you allergic to sorrel?
Yeah. It's not hay fever. It's flipping.
It's your cat.
It's dander.
Mad. I'm actually so surprised I'm not allergic to my cat.
I think also I only gained the allergy after puberty.
Okay.
When
so
she
when I
became
lost my allergies, you gained them.
No. After her puberty, sorry.
Oh, after her puberty?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen to me.
You don't know that. Might not.
But he's a short-haired tabby? Actually, I don't even know what haired tabby is. I'm still waiting for him to grow.
He has the same hair as sorrel, honey.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to be allergic to him, aren't I?
Well, the only cat that's hypoallergenic is the skin one. The skin cat.
Actually, no. I won't be. I'm allergic to short-haired animals, not long-haired.
So
I'll be fine.
What's a short-hair animal?
So like a pit bull. Pit bulls I'm allergic to. Rottweilers I'm allergic to. Like, as in, one time I was on the Central line and a guy came on with 2 Rottweilers. Absolutely wild, because why would you do that? Like, on public transport.
That's very crazy.
That is insane. Sat right opposite me. Where's my leg was shaking.
Were you starting to pray? Because sometimes I see dogs, and I'm like, I love them, but please.
Tia, my butt cheeks were clenched. I couldn't even relax in the seat. I was just waiting 2 full-blown Rottweilers on the Central line. So they're like right opposite me. And one of the dogs like shakes. You know how they shake their fur off? Like, when I say the fur was everywhere in the air, I didn't pay any mind to it because I was just busy trying to survive. All of a sudden, my nose is starting to itch. I'm starting to cough. Obviously, I'm not trying to cough too loud because I'm like, there's 2 Rottweilers right across here who can just tear me apart, eat me like suya. I was like, I'm not trying to make a scene. But it came to a point where I could feel my throat closing up. So I actually had to get off the train. It got so bad, I actually had to get off the train.
Your allergies are so dramatic.
I know. It's just like, it's not like, it's never going to be a rash. It's going to be
like
like
a little itch in the back of the throat.
It's going to be, I'm going to kill you. You're allergic, so we have to die.
Sorry.
So I had to get off the train. And luckily, I had antihistamines on me because I'm unfortunately one of those people that actually have to carry it around. So I took 2 and I had to sit, on the platform, those benches. I had to sit there to wait for it to kick in. I just focused on my breathing. I was like, yeah. So that's when I found out that I'm actually allergic to short-haired animals.
Also, sorry, I just wanted to talk because I started talking about something and then I said I'll come back to that.
Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. The only other time, because this is an embarrassing story, what I find, yeah. So there's one day I'm walking. This is the only time I think recently I felt like, oh my God, I might die, like physically. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm walking. I think I was working on some kind of TV show at the time, but I was working in Central London. So I'm just walking on the phone to my mum, just chatting, because me and my mum talk every day. Mm-hmm. I see her once a week. So just a normal kind of lunchtime, like things were stressful, but it calmed down. Good. All of a sudden I'm on the phone, yeah, and I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And it was so frustrating because as I couldn't breathe, I remember my mum just chatting. And I'm like, for ease of words, what I was thinking is, you're just chatting was, and I can't breathe. And I don't know how to, because I'm silent on the phone. And you know when someone's just going, and I'm silent on the phone because I'm like, but obviously I'm in the middle of like a Soho. Mm. And all I could think is, I can't breathe. And if I collapse here, this is so embarrassing.
You're about to die, and you're thinking about the embarrassment that comes with dying.
Because people are here on lunch, yeah, and it's not even like it was super busy. It's like it's like where all the edit houses are in Soho, so it's quiet, but like there's footfall, and like loads of Italian little restaurants and stuff. So someone just find me on the floor. It's not even like it's not even like if it was Oxford Circus, that's embarrassing, and someone's gonna come and find you quickly.
Yeah,
but
also someone's gonna film you. You will be on TikTok.
So maybe
you will be on TikTok. So I think that was God save you, because you will 100% be on TikTok. You know that's my worst fear.
What, you die?
For me to like die or like collapse somewhere and like someone films you and it's just on TikTok.
Maybe.
Or one of them crime pages.
Maybe you just gotta cover your face or something as it's happening.
How am I gonna cover my face as I die? Like, I'm dying, but
take
also cover my face.
Jumper,
and then just die underneath the jumper.
Like a cat. You know cats and dogs, they go into a corner to die. No, sometimes they want privacy, so they'll just leave. They don't want to cause trauma. Take your top and
just go die in the corner in private, like privacy. Like, please give me space. I'm dying. Please don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm dying.
Oh my God.
Or like when they try to attempt to save you, and they cut you out your clothes. So your ass crack is just on the pavement while people are trying to save your life. I'll just whisper, please just let me die. I can't live to explain to someone what's happening here. Please let me die. Because
someone will find that video one day.
Someone will find that video. Just let me die. Please just let me die. If they have to cut me out my clothes to save me, I'm just gonna whisper in their ear to the ambulance, please just let me die.
And this is why our parents will say, always wear your good knickers when you go outside.
Your good knickers. But even then, man, because out of urgency, like them trying to cut you, they might cut the knickers too. Also, your ass crack is out. Like, everyone can see your old bra from Marks and Spencer's. Like, just let me die. I'm like, please, let me die with dignity.
But what if be the case, that you really need to wee and then you're just dying? Because then you would have wet yourself. Though. No, but you naturally will. And so then that's
now you even wet yourself on top of dying and your butt naked.
Human beings are embarrassing.
Just cremate me right there. Don't even bury me. Cremate me right there. What do you mean I wet myself whilst I was dying?
Turns out, so that me not breathing wasn't, so I was like, all of a sudden, so I'm standing there in the middle of the road and no one's there. So eventually it calms down and I'm like, okay, I can breathe. And then my mum's still chatting. So this has been probably like 2 minutes.
She's just there talking away whilst we were dying.
And I said to her, Mum, you were talking for 2 minutes and I couldn't breathe. She was like, what? I was like, did you not realise I was just silent? Like,
she just thought you were listening.
And then she got panicked and she was like, go to A&E kind of thing. Turns out it was just a panic attack.
Why did you have a panic attack?
So that's really embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. I wouldn't blame you for to go in the corner and die right now because that is embarrassing. I wouldn't even blame you. Are you going to find a private spot? And that's what to do.
So, I was going to say not known facts, but so panic attacks tend to, I eventually went to the doctor because I had a couple of them.
Mm.
And I was like, well, it happens when I'm very, very calm. Like I'll just be walking, chatting to you. Then all of a sudden I can't breathe. Or like I'll be going to get, I don't know, a croissant. And then all of a sudden I can't breathe. It's just so random. And it turns out when you've had periods of high stress, when you calm down, that's when you get the panic attacks more so.
How does that make sense? Attack me whilst I'm down. Not when I'm getting up and recovering. And you're just like, bam, attack.
That's what happens.
So your body basically responds to you being calm. Your body just wants you to be happy.
And it says, hey!
So literally he prays it. You know how cats, when they want to pray on something and jump on it, they'll like line themselves up. That's what your panic attack is doing. Then the moment it sees you happy, pow!
Yeah.
Takes your breath away. I'm so sorry about that. What a shit way to live. Sorry. You can't be happy because you have a panic attack. Not even happy, you're just not feeling nothing.
No, it balances itself out over time. So now I don't have them anymore.
kind of demonic? I thought panic attacks happen when you're like highly, like when you're stressed.
They do, but they can also come after the period of stress has calmed down. Game.
One day we need to have like a therapist or a psychiatrist on you so they can just explain everything because I do not understand. You're telling me that's not of the devil. They said when you're calm, we will bring you down and take your breath away.
When the doctor said that, I said, what? What? That's not fair.
How do doctors live their lives just not being confused constantly? Because I don't think I could ever be a doctor, you know. I'll just be like, I'll be eating my breakfast and random black wait, but what? Why do we even do that?
Yeah, it's insane.
That is crazy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to We Just Got Here podcast. My name is Tia.
And I'm Steph.
And we're here to give you your weekly dose of sisterhood, love, and venting about how we just got here and adulthood.
Yeah, and this is episode 16. Oh my God. I can't, like, I was going to say, it feels like just yesterday we were recording episode 1, but it literally was yesterday. So it wasn't yesterday, but it wasn't like a year ago. So I'll save that for when we're like a year in. Like, oh my God, it was just yesterday we're recording our first episode.
Yeah, because it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
For where we want to be.
It was yesterday. But hi, everyone. It has been, well, by the time you listen to this, the week would have passed, but it's been an eventful week for Britain, I must say. But we will get into that.
We're going to get into it.
We're going to get into it, don't worry. How was your week?
Never ending. A lot of
just one day, you know? When I ask how is your week,
say fine.
Say good. Say great. Say I had a good time.
No, I don't.
You don't? I'm going to challenge you to have one good week. No meltdowns, nothing. Actually, no, because now, apparently, when you do have a good week, that's when your body wants to attack you. So maybe don't.
Do you know what? I should have taken my birthday off and I haven't.
You didn't take a birthday off?
No.
Brother, I'm about to add an extra week to my birthday vacation.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
It's not too late to take it off, is it?
No, I actually can take off the day. I can take off the day.
The day? You need a week, child. You need a week because you need to make time for your birthday, then make time for the breakdown/crisis that you go through after, and then the time that you need to set goals off the back of the crisis.
I don't have time for that.
Oh.
Because that would need cover.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And it's too late to find cover. But
no one covers me. I just write my handover notes and run. Whoever wants to pay attention.
But yeah, so yeah, it's been good. The week.
Why is your lip quivering? Just say what happened, man. Just
no. Do you know what it is? Yeah, my week is just I'm still in it. Oh, yeah. So like, you know, when you buck up on a weekend, sometimes it feels like a weekend. But obviously, me and Steph have been on the phone from 6 o'clock this morning. So essentially, my Friday just continued.
Yeah, it's true. You know, it's actually true.
Yeah, we're just
like we don't have a weekend. It's just like a nap in between Friday and what your Saturday would be. But it's still our Friday.
Yeah, it's just we just continue. So we woke up this morning and it was like who's on the phone about, and definitely work was definitely a conversation that we had on my side. But yeah, so that's why I can't tell you how my week's been because I'm still in it.
Okay. Do you have an L that you've experienced?
I do. What was my L of the week this week? Oh, this. Not this. Obviously not this. Okay. So L of the week this week. As Steph mentioned, it was a huge day for our great nation.
Finnish nation.
And so we had to vote, right? So I'm not going to lie. I know. So apparently you're not supposed to talk about who you vote for, yeah?
Sorry. That's a very British thing. Alongside not discussing salaries. We're just playing ourselves.
But you know what? It made sense because me and everyone around me just kind of looked like, what are we doing? So I called my mum on the way to call my mum. I was like, "You're right, doll. Where are you?" She's at home. Okay, cool. Like, have you voted already? She's like, "No, I'm waiting for you." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, "So girl, obviously now, I am in my obviously we're adults.
Yeah.
We're adults. So we're in our informed bag. So obviously that means we're no longer going off. We can't trust what we used to trust before. So we actually have to read manifestos now. So I'm on the train and I'm reading manifestos, and they're just not giving. Me, I don't know why the hell I decided, because I even read Reforms one. When I was reading Reforms, and I had no business reading that manifesto because my head just got hot. It just got hot and hotter and hotter. Like, and the thing is, so it started off with me reading it like this, and then your eyebrow does this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got worse. And then my lips started twitching. So my face, by the time I got to my station, my face was an utter look of disgust at the words that they'd written in this manifesto.
I don't know why you even looked at Reforms.
I don't know. But like, obviously it was like, no, what are they? Because the thing is, let's not growl like that. The thing is, they were flying in places like Peckham.
Yeah.
But who's your clientele? Why? So obviously you must feel like you have an appeal.
Well, I mean, I feel like Nigel Farage thinks that his like little "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here" run help.
I forgot about that.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, it slightly did. Because for them to be third runner up, it's scary to me.
But who's voting for them? Like, what types of people are voting for them?
Oh, you know the types. The types that have tolerated us way too long in their country, in their heads. The ones that hang the England flags out of their window when it's not match time.
Do you know what? It's crazy because the street we're moving to, they do that. And
When I see the England flags, I still walk past them. And that's why every time I drive through my neighborhood, I make sure to blast a shake so they know that we are here and we are staying. That's my own way of fighting back. You want to be racist? That's fine. But you're going to hear this a shake. You will learn this album by force. I'm blasting it every time I come through. So that's probably why the Reform votes are up, because I'm here driving through my neighborhood with a shake blasting.
I'm tired of these people.
What is he even saying?
So anyway, called my Marge. Now obviously I'm sitting down next to this elderly lady, and I've called on the phone to my mum, like, "Who are you voting for?" And the woman's just looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, anyway, mummy. So who you voting for?" And it's only later on when we were voting, and I think there was a couple, and I think the wife went to the husband in the booth kind of thing. And then obviously one of the invigilators, if that's what they're called, but they were like, I don't think that's what they're called, but we're going to call them invigilator because they do the same thing as invigilators. Was like, "No conferring in the booth, please." No, I'm like, all right. So then I spoke to my mum, like, don't they think that at home we say to our partners, "Who you voting for?" Because I'm thinking about that game.
You have to.
So going back to where we were at, after I voted, I called my best mate, and I said, "Steph, Steph, it was hard. Steph, I read through the manifestos. My head got hot. I was looking at the independent parties. It was hard. It was so hard." So yeah, I was really, I ended up making the decision. I was kind of going back and forth. So I kind of made the decision when I left my home.
Mm.
And I changed it when I was actually in the booth. Yeah.
The decision I made, I settled with it a good couple of months ago. Because I knew that the party that I thought I would always vote for and always supported, they showed their ass. And I weren't going to vote for the Tories. I'll say that loud and clear, baby. If you are a Tory, you should even be here. So hopefully you won't be offended by me saying I'm not even voting for a Tory. So I knew, and especially seeing how they treated us, Diane Abbott, and seeing how they treated Jeremy Corbyn, they weren't getting my vote. And I have always been that particular party's supporter through and through. I am very passionate about politics, both Nigerian and British politics. So for me, like, I watch everything and I take it personally. I take that shit personally. So I knew was a very difficult decision to make, considering that I am very passionate about politics and using your vote, you taking the chance to actually make a decision that's going to impact you, your children, your friends, your family, etc. But this election, I knew that I was going to have to take I would say non-ideal route for me. So I did vote. The party that I did vote for, unfortunately, I knew they weren't going to win, but I'd rather give them the vote than give the other options because it was not given.
It wasn't given.
It wasn't given, and we are at a stage where who we vote for now could impact our children. We don't have kids yet, but it could impact our children's lives in terms of like the way they're able to, the kind of care they get, the education they get. Even for us, like paying childcare, etc.
It impacts us heavily.
It impacts everything. So for me, unfortunately, it does feel like it was like almost like picking your poison. But I tried to take the option that would be the least damaging to everyone else. Because I just didn't want to be a part of it. Unless it was Jeremy Corbyn.
Word.
I weren't going to like.
It was more like picking the team you definitely wanted to lose.
Yeah.
That's how voting felt like. That's what it felt like. It was just like, you had to be tactical.
Yeah.
But we just know who we don't want in power again.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, as long as you're not winning, whatever option is slightly better. But even then, like, I don't know, man.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. And I guess we just have to wait out and see. And just be vocal as possible when things are going left, etc. Because one thing about us, we need to be more like the French. You see the French?
We need to be like the French because they will burn some shit down.
Inconvenience. And the French are burning bins in the streets. They are tossing stuff at the police. They are fly kicking people in the chest. Us, when something goes wrong, we're like, oh God, that's terrible. We're still going to pay there. They
know how to do a revolution. Huh?
They know how to listen, they will flog their president. What do you mean? They rule the country. That Macron or whatever his name is, they're just putting him there because in his suit to be their spokesperson. But it happened again. See these retainers? I'm so sorry. Hopefully you didn't see that. If you did, I would have edited it out anyway, so it never happened. But you see Macron? He speaks to the people. Any inconvenience, if he tries to get out of line, they're coming out in the streets to burn the bins. What are you talking about? Brits, we need Vim. See how they flogged us or what? How long has it been? 14 years or something like that?
14 years.
See how they flogged us. We have no confidence. We have to stand up. But yeah, no, I said this on Twitter. I'm going to say it here, yeah. They need to offer free therapy for all the British Nigerians who are into politics because we're being flogged on both sides. How can no country be working? Nigeria is having its own. The UK is having its own. Where do I go? When the racist said that I should just go back home, I can't even go. Go back where? I actually generally can't go back. I can't. I actually have to stay here.
No, because both the countries are failing.
Both the countries are failing. Where am I supposed to go? I can't go to the US because Joe Biden, he goes senile in the middle of his speech. Man will just go quiet and start staring into a distance. You are the president of the most powerful country in the world. Why are you having a mini seizure in the middle of your speech?
It's because Kamala is really their president. Kamala is actually running the country.
She's the brain. I don't think my man even knows what his role is. I don't think he realizes he's the president. I think he's forgotten.
That's why we're not. Before we were hearing a lot from Kamala. Now she's focused because she's running the country.
Because she's running the country. Because my man, I don't think he knows he's the president anymore. He's like, why do these people keep bringing me out in the suit to these people? What am I supposed to say? Like, yeah, just read the speech here. My man's getting confused in the middle of the speech, just staring into space.
Stop it. Bless him, man. Bless him.
The world is a mess.
It is.
What is going on?
Where
can we go?
Dubai.
Who's doing well right now?
Can I just say, the Londoners are all going to Dubai, so...
Dubai that people are running from because of the hot weather. What are you talking about? I'm not chilling in 40-degree weather. Listen, I'm not chilling in 40-degree weather.
No, can I just say, yeah, the way the Black Brits are going to Dubai, I'm really looking at it like,
nah.
Because when reforms start to do their thing here, I think I'm just gonna let me go with the DJs and the club promoters. Let me just I'll have a time.
In the oven. living in the oven.
No, but that's so British of you because look at the weather. Look at the weather of the festival
I know.
in July. Please.
But
Please.
our oven, we couldn't find a happy medium. Isn't there someone with light weather? No, a young little 20 degrees. Nowhere that we could go? Where's working? Can someone in the comments please tell me what countries are working right now? What are our options? Please.
And win of the week. Okay, so my win of the week is us making it to this festival today.
That might be our L. Because the way it's raining outside, I don't know.
So can I just say, my get up for this festival, I'm wearing wellies and a North Face. I look like peak Glasto babe.
Yeah.
Glasto babe.
But it's needed.
Because what the hell?
And just, I know you said it's your win, but let me add my L. Can I be honest with you guys? We're all friends here, right? I don't want to go. I have no desire to go to this festival. One, I don't own wellies. I'm not a festival babe, so I don't have wellies just chilling in my cupboard. The most I can give you is like my mashed up trainers that I don't mind getting even more mashed up in the mud. Cool. But this thing is far. It's raining. I'm not even really sure that the food is unlimited like that. I feel like it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
I really...
No, but we're being pessimistic because if anyone had said, hey, there's a festival where all your food is covered, we'd be like, what?
No, but the thing about me is that it takes one... I'm not ashamed to say that rain is enough sometimes for me to not go anywhere. That's not bringing me money. I can literally just go into the air. If I feel a gust of wind on the tip of my finger, I ain't going.
Can I just say, me and Steph were on the phone this morning and Steph rang me. She said, Chris, I don't want to go. And also, I was saying, I know, neither do I. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm actually working. And I'm like, I barely slept. We had both barely slept.
We got shit to do.
And we're going to this festival. Now, the lineup is nice. It could, like...
I thought that the full lineup was like, you know, like when they announce it in tiers. So I thought it would be a bit more fleshed out by now.
It ain't. It ain't.
There's a lot of gap at the top of the leaflet due to the lack of names. In short, I don't want to. If you see me there, it's a miracle. But right now, I really don't want to.
So I don't want to. However, because I had this conversation, both with my partner and you, where I said, for the amount of money, because I've spent the money, I have to at least show up. Actually, we even said it last week, actually. I was like, because we spent the money, I have to.
That's the difference between me and you, because I'll let that money go. It's already gone. No, God has already replaced it for me. Payday just passed. I'm fine. I won't feel it.
No, but you know what? It's because...
It's gone.
You know when I paid for it, I felt it.
I felt it too. But you know what? I feel now? Dread. I feel dread. I don't want to go.
Oh my God. So yeah.
How is that your win?
Because when I do make it, and I'm en route to making it, because the wellies are on.
I don't have wellies. Why don't I have wellies? I'm not a proper... I don't even have a raincoat.
Do you know what? I wouldn't have, because we don't go to festivals like that.
We don't go to festivals.
We're not festival babes.
I did sign up for Glasgow tickets for next year though.
Did you?
Yeah, man. I want to experience it.
It is becoming more of a festival that I could enjoy of recent.
And I feel like we need to do it for life, really life, so we have babies.
I mean, I'm gonna take them kids.
I'm not taking them kids to Glastonbury. I see people do. I'm not taking my children to Glastonbury. I'm trying to get fucked up.
I'm gonna give them kids to somebody, not a stranger.
Who wants
my
to
family
look after your kid.
My family
At Glasgow.
Not at Glasgow.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring them and try and dump them on someone.
No, so I'll either
you find that baby having tequila shots at the bar and smoking a cigarette if you do that. Probably with me.
just looking like Stewie.
Just looking like Stewie.
But yeah, I still want to have a time when I have kids. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I don't actually want to even be there and be thinking, oh, I miss my baby, or what are they doing?
Oh yeah.
Because I do that with my cat. Like right now, I miss him.
I mean, Soul's fine. But she's also 2 years older than
Chooks.
Chooks.
Chooks is very much a baby.
He is. I did feel, yes. Back in the day, I did feel like that about Soz. So yeah. You grew out of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
So that was my win. What was your win, actually? You've done your L.
My win. Jeremy Corbyn. Bless him. Bless him. That is a story of resilience. That is the story of being the beacon of hope in the moment of darkness. Jeremy, massive shout out to you. I am not within your constituency, whatever you say. I can't say my retainer, so you guys, you figure out constituency. Hella rubber in my mouth. Constituency. I can't. My tongue.
Why? No, but it's the fact your teeth are doing this.
Because it's
constituency.
If I don't do that, I'll spit.
You're annoying.
I'm sorry, guys. But Jeremy Corbyn, massive shout out to you winning as an independent for Islington North. Big up you. At least the people in your borough have sense. Some of us are still fighting for our lives, but I'm so, so happy to see that. I think it's really important for us to see someone like him at least have a seat. I don't know if he'll have enough influence to stop the madness, but bro, I'm just so happy that he won as an independent. The Labour tried to smear him, tried to make him out like the bad guy.
They really tried to ruin his name.
And I'm going to do this myself. And he did it. 24,000 votes. I kept watching the video of when he found out, like over and over again in my little corner in my sofa. It just gave me so much joy. The way he smiled. Like, honestly, massive shout out. Despite the shit show that this country is, I still have hope for it just based on the fact that Corbyn got a seat. So I love you, Corbyn. If you're watching this, I'm going to clip this. Corbyn, Jeremy, Corbyn, if you see this, thank you so much. I love you. You have been resilient, you have been graceful, and you've spoken up when you need to speak. And I'm happy for you, man. You are so brave for everything that you've done over the past, what? Gosh, close to
59 years.
59 years. That guy is 75 years old. He joined Labour, when he was 16? That's mashing work. Corbyn, thank you so much, honestly. Like, I love you so much.
Read a poem.
I want you to be my granddaddy. In fact, we have written poems for Jeremy that we are going to read out on here. I don't know if he'll hear it, but I don't care because we love him that much. Like, he needs a poem. We need to give him his flowers. So Lady Danger is going to step up today and give us her bars. And I'll follow up with my bars. Lady Danger? Oh, Jeremy, God. We're bringing out Lady Danger for you.
It was like a love letter and now you've made it.
Yeah, no, but it's like Lady Danger rebrand. You know, like how Pink had her like R&B face and then she went into pop. So now
Lady Danger's becoming the poet.
Yeah, so you had your like, you know, the urban face and now you're into pop. So
okay. Jeremy, this is for you. Firstly, congratulations. Hooray. You showed them. You proved it today. It was a week ago, but well, not a week ago. Well, when you hear this, it'll be a week ago. You were the stem, the one to lead, so he could run, follow your creed. We are here because you took the stand, opened the doors with your guiding hand. You were the original, the one who opened our eyes. We felt we could trust you despite all the lies. Though they let you down, the real ones knew. He had our faith and our trust in you. Others doubted your leadership way back when, but here you stand, proving them wrong again. Strong and resilient, you show us what's true. With an unbreakable bond, we stand with you. You proved you were right. You stand for what's right. They tried to tarnish your name to try dim your light. But your work speaks volumes, your legacy clear. 59 years strong, your path is sincere. You stood with the party and now for yourself, standing up for others with your mission and stealth. Reality trumps any false stance. Real relationships withstand every chance. Authenticity authenticity and resilience. You showed they pay off. When hope seemed lost, you never backed off. You're the glimmer of light in the darkest night, proving that fighting for beliefs will always shine bright. Thank you for being different, for being so true. Thank you for being so sincerely, uniquely you.
Jeremy. Jeremy. I'm sorry for everyone else listening. Sorry, we're talking to Jeremy right now. Jeremy? Jeremy. We love you.
We love you.
I'm going to get into my poem. Sorry if I get a bit emotional. This is like a big deal for me. And I really hope you hear this, Jeremy. I really hope one of your sons come across one of our TikToks or something and shares this with you. Because you are a real G. And if you ever want to join us on this sofa,
please.
And just
We'd
chat
be
shit.
honoured. We'd be so honoured.
And just chat. We're here. We love you. You have a home here. And there's sweets. And we have water.
And we have sense.
And
More
we have
importantly,
sense.
We have sense.
And banter. Anyway, I'm going to get into my poem before I start crying. Because this man. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, in your jumper so red. A force of conviction with ideas in your head. Take it in, take it in. Through your highs and through lows, you've stood up so tall. With policies and passion that inspired us all. From rallies and speeches with your bicycle near, to facing critics, you showed us no fear. Though tabloids may sneer and the permits may jeer, you stayed on your course through year after year. A garden allotment where you tend to your plants reflects your persistence through every last chance. Your dreams for the people, for justice and peace, are visions of futures where inequalities cease. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, with that twinkle so bright, you lit up our hopes like a beacon at night. And with wit and charm, in debates you did engage, turning skeptics to fans with your words on the stage. When Brexit upheaval was all the new rage, you stayed cool and calm like a sage on the page. And though times got tough and the road was quite rough, your resilience showed us all that we can all be tough. So here's to you, Jeremy, in your cap and your grin, for fighting for the good fight through thick and through thin. For the buses, the workers, the students and more, your legacy lingers in the hearts of the poor. I'm not poor in Jesus' name. Oh, Corbyn, you've weathered the storm. In the history books, you've rewritten the norm. With a heart full of courage and hands full of care, you showed us that the leaders are those who dare. Jeremy? We love you, man, honestly.
And we thank you. We actually, obviously, we're good at jokes, but we really appreciate it. It's so important to have, in a time where, I think for a lot of us, we didn't feel like there was anyone that we could relate to or that we could trust in, to see that at least there's one constituency, one that has someone representing them who is real, who stands up for what's right, who is sincere, who at very least will work for the things they say they will work for.
And stand on that.
Right. Rather than lying or trying to say we're going to do this, but have no intention.
Mm-hmm.
He is very, he's been doing this, as we said, for 59 years. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And he's, through it all, he tried to stick with the party. And so it's just so lovely to see him triumph, even standing. And it's so good, like, to even for young people and people, we are young people also, but to see that people can try and bring you down to the level, the media, like, again, it's not just people on the internet. It's not just little trolls, guys.
It's the media.
It's the media. It's the country was
His
talking
own
him
party
down.
members.
Right. Talking him down. And for him, for there to be an active, like, showcase of people actually believing in him, and it's the people who he directly affects, and that speaks for his work ethic. It speaks to how much people in his constituency believe he does for them, and it was so beautiful to be able to see that. Like, honestly, like, even if it doesn't have an effect on a wider scale, that in itself, that is a small little to show people that small little thing to show people that it's possible.
It's
Do you know what I
possible.
mean?
Yeah, of course. Like, do you know what it is to have the tabloids against you, social media, your own party members, and to decide rather than to conform, to step down and actually do this thing by yourself? Like, Jeremy, honestly, it's so inspiring at his age as well. The man's 75 years old.
And he did that.
Bro should be resting, but he'd rather fight for what is right.
And people would give up. Do you get what I mean? But that shows you his intent. That shows you his heart.
He's resilient. He's resilient. And for people like that, their legacy will never end, man. Jeremy Corbyn's someone I'll speak to my children about, even when they're older. And hopefully they'll speak to their kids about him, etc. We are witnessing a real legend in our time. And he must be protected at all costs. So if we have to fly kick certain people, I didn't say the Prime Minister, in his chest to protect Corbyn, then that's what we should do. And it inspires us as well to speak up, stand up for yourselves, stand up for what is right. If something is happening that is directly affecting us, impacting us, not even just us, our children, maybe their children, etc., we must make the effort to stand up and fight, or at least speak up. I'm not saying we should go into the streets and start smashing up shops, etc., but we must be vocal. And for the people that maybe aren't into politics, don't really like to get into it, or feel intimidated even by politics, because I know some people, they have a slight interest, but they don't want to go too deep into it because they feel like they need to be smart to understand politics, etc. Try and get into the habit of reading manifestos, even the ones that just, like, for the election that just passed. Go back, read them, see what the parties are about. Maybe do some research about the parties, how they started, what their main ethos is, etc. And make an informed decision from there.
And don't wonder where their funding is coming from.
Exactly, and where their funding is coming from as well. That's really important. But you don't have to be super smart or super intelligent to actually give a fuck about what is going on in the country, or at least pay attention to politics. The older you get, the more you realize how much these things actually impact us. I kid you not. Even like during the lockdown, when we had the change of Chancellor? Was it Chancellor?
Yeah, we've had many changes.
Yeah, we had the change of Chancellor. That actually impacted me as I was buying my property.
Oh, did it?
Because of the stamp duty process. It was a good impact, thankfully, but it was the difference between a good couple of grands. And that's what really made, like, I've always had an interest in politics. As I said, my family are very much into politics and economics, etc. If you ever meet them or you're at a dinner table with them, they're most likely going to speak about the economy or politics. But even just doing that made me realize, like, right, actually this, something that just happened like a day before has impacted my life in terms of what I'm doing. In terms of what I'm doing in my life, in terms of this milestone. So yeah, like, I really, really, really do urge people to just, like, try as much as you can to just even just light research, but don't think that you have to be super smart to be into politics. It's something that impacts us all. Jeremy Corbyn is the absolute hero. If you aren't familiar with him, I do urge you to research on him as well. He is one of the good guys in politics, and that's very rare. As someone who is into politics, I can tell you that it is very rare to come across an all-around good guy in politics. So please, 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 let's celebrate him. Let's protect him. And hopefully the country doesn't go too downhill. Yeah, I don't think it can get any lower than this, to be honest.
Don't say that, don't say that. Because Reform are really, really putting their hands into things. So don't say it can't get any worse.
It probably can, but I'm trying to give everyone hope. Let's not vote for Reform or even encourage that. Now, they should have never let Nigel Farage on I'm Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. He was blatantly using that as a press fund to change his image. And I feel like people are falling for it.
I just don't understand how that happened.
But also a lot of people, because of the economic crisis, what you find is that when a country's going through economic hardship, racism tends to rear its head. Racism, domestic abuse, and crime tend to rear its head. Because remember, we've just recovering from a recession. Remember, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people are finding it difficult to find jobs, and the way the reform move, their whole thing is, well, if there were less immigrants in the country, we would have more jobs for our nationals, etc. That tends to be a thing. It tends to be a thing. I've read it. I'll try and find the article somewhere. Maybe I'll link it in the description box. But racism and economic hardship are linked in terms of like not that obviously racism has always been a thing, but in terms of like actual like far right beliefs.
But you see, even then, so when I was reading this manifesto, and one of the things with all of them, actually, all the manifestos I read was like, okay, so you want to do all of this. Where is the money coming
There's
from?
no money.
So I need, because really,
it's from our tax.
Of course, it's for our tax. But if you're telling us, because generally, and I'm going to keep this short because we need to go into the next section, but generally, it comes from our tax. Unless you're going to raise our tax, there's not, you're going to raise something. If there's not enough money. So you're raising travel, you're raising the cost of travel, or raising the cost of something, or you're raising tax. Now, if you're saying you're not going to raise tax, then you're moving money instead. So it's this, the pots of which money goes into, you're going to take from some and give to others. So obviously that's where my mind goes. But when certain parties were saying, this is what we're going to do, this is what they're going to do, but you haven't told us where the money's coming from. Do you get what I mean? You've just said, I remember one thing they said, oh, this is going to save us however much money. Okay, yeah. But the more money you need.
Yeah, so we're still going to pay for it some way, somehow. It's the same when we're still paying for like COVID. Where 100%. Up until now, we are still paying for COVID. I guarantee you things will continue to rise because there's so much money they have to recover. And that's what I mean about we need to pay attention to who is in power. We need to pay attention to what is happening in this country, because as much as you think it doesn't impact you, it will. It is. And that money, that tax that's coming out of your paycheck, that food that is rising up. You see that Tesco, how they increasing their olive oil from £5 to £7 to now £10. It's because of that. Okay.
And now, especially, I think previously, we could say, oh, we're going to see those changes made in another 4 years, in another 6 years. Now it's like, or another like 3 years at very least. Like now it's like, oh, those changes are made end of the year.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the energy is going to go up the next bill.
You're seeing it. People, your energy companies are sending you emails like, your bill's about to go up. Those things impact you. You have to pay attention to what is going on in the country. And unfortunately, that means you have to pay attention to politics. Even if it's just like a little 5-minute roundup a week. Find out what is happening in this country, because it will impact you. I saw so many people tweeting like, well, I don't really get involved in politics. It doesn't really affect me.
No,
it impacts you.
It really impacts you.
It impacts your ability to be able to buy a home if that's something you aim for. It impacts how much money you pay for travel. It impacts how much tax you pay. It can even impact you want to have a baby, you want to start a family. It can impact your ability to do that.
Food you get. Because remember, they were saying, again, this stupid party that I remember what they were saying, but something they're going to change the limitations, the food standards that the EU have for food. I think they're going to change it so it's a British standard, whatever have you. What does that, guys? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Because remember, Brexit made a lot of our food just go
up, and the quality go down. I'm not even joking. Like, I have been food shopping in particular supermarkets, and the fruits are rotten in the bag. As in, we haven't even taken it home yet.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. And remember, the EU standard in terms of food is what protects us from all the E numbers, etc. That is killing people, messing people up in other countries. There's a lot of E numbers that are, especially like in American food, a lot of American food isn't available here.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to sell that because it is carcinogenic.
So what does that mean? And also, they're trying to separate us from the European what is it? European Human Rights Court. So, sorry, I'm trying to remember it from my law degree. I try to separate us from the EU High Court, which means that if basically they have no one to answer to. If they want to mess up the country, we can't even, like, the European Court of Law can't even, like, pull them up. Like, the European Supreme Court, sorry. They can't even pull them up and say, actually, this is going against human rights, so you can't do this. Which means that Britain can essentially amend their constitution. They can put in laws that essentially violate our human rights. And the only people who have to answer is obviously the UK Supreme Court, which won't do nothing. But the European Supreme Court or High Court, sorry, I'll correct myself in the description if it's wrong, but I know this. I know what I'm talking about because I studied it. The European Supreme Court is probably it's like the highest tier. They're the highest. So they're the highest of the highest. Like, they have the last say. But obviously, by this whole Brexit thing, what they've been trying to do is slowly sever themselves off from the EU so they can cut that, basically remove themselves from that so they don't have to answer to them. So they can violate our human rights. It's the same thing. You can see them trying to do, like, the whole thing about protesting. When they try to pass a law. That violates our human rights. But who are they answering to? Who's going to pull them up?
Sad state of affairs.
Yeah. But anyway.
Right. So let's talk about resilience, right? Because obviously that was based, we'll do this very quickly because
extremely quickly.
We didn't speak. So a time where obviously we're using Jeremy Corbyn's, like, example of resilience. So do you have any moments that resilience paid off?
Do you know what? This is the funny thing about resilience, yeah. And I always say this. I feel like everyone has the ability to be resilient, but I feel like resilience is tied with discipline.
Yes.
So I feel like if you're not disciplined, you're going to find it very hard to be resilient, which means you'll give up very quickly. I think the time where I've been the most resilient and it's really, really paid off, I would say, is when I was really trying to start my career in music. I've exposed where I work in. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, I really wanted to get into music. Now, I knew I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any... Back then, it felt like you needed to know someone to get a way in because for people like us that grew up in Newham, etc., and didn't have any connections, we didn't even know where to start. It wasn't even a thing of like, you apply to jobs and you just hope you get lucky.
You wouldn't even
get
see
something.
them.
You wouldn't even see them. And not to say people didn't get jobs in that way, but it was just impossible to see them. Or if you did see them, you apply and you just never hear back. But I knew I really wanted to work in music. I made a decision. I remember I was frustrated in the Harris canteen. The customers had been working me. I was like, Steph, we have to make sure this isn't your life forever. And at the time, I think I was like, we were part of that collective, so we'll do drips of drives, but it wasn't anything that was enough to really move the needle. Like, it wasn't gonna like change our lives. So I knew I had to look for an opportunity in order to get my foot in the door. I got this internship, and at the time I was still at uni. So I was at uni full time, and I just bagged this internship. Luckily, they were willing to work around my uni schedule, which means I was at uni 3 days a week, and I was at the office interning. This was like a music PR agency, so I was interning there 2 days a week. And I remember there were times where I was so broke after paying for my train tickets to commute to uni, because I still stayed at home, but I was commuting to uni. I was so broke. After I paid my uni tickets, I used to literally just have like a pound or two in my bank account. I'm not even joking. So, which means I couldn't afford to actually travel to my internship. So, not a lot of people know this, but I used to walk 5 miles to my internship and walk another 5 miles back because I couldn't even afford to get on the bus because I needed that £2 in case anything happened. So, as in me taking a bus to the internship was a treat. And even then, I still had to walk a good 2 miles just to get to somewhere that will actually get a direct bus there. So I used to walk it. And I literally just told myself, I was like, this is what I have to do in order to make this work. So I'm going to do it. Every day, I'll put my headphones on and I'll start that walk. And I used to even wear like workout leggings, just made the walk a bit easier, my trainers and stuff. But I said, I'm going to go to this internship. I'm going to walk there and I'm going to walk back. I'm going to firm it because I need to do this. I need to do this in order to get my foot in the door. And even when I got there, bear in mind, I just walked 5 miles. I'm working like I'm being paid 100k. Because I knew this is what I
You
need to
needed
do.
it, yeah.
It wasn't even a thing of, I just can't afford to go to the internship. I was like, I'm going to find a way, even if I have to like walk, which I did 10 miles every day. Not every day, every 2 days out of the week. So yeah, I did that. And I grafted and I knew that what I wanted to do was, my plan was to work, intern there, hopefully get promoted, and then use that to land a job at a major label, one of my dream labels that I always wanted to work for. And yeah, I remember the day where they were like, when they keep you on, we actually want to pay you money for it. And I was so happy. One, because it meant that I didn't have to walk 10 miles anymore to the office. I could actually like afford to go. But two, that I actually stuck to it and I did it. And I kid you not, after that, luckily, I started a Twitter account where I started posting about music. I was connecting with the community. I was making my own playlists and posting that every week. And I think I messaged someone because at the time they were at the company. So it was actually Universal. I can say that now because it was years ago. It was like almost 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. I messaged them. I was like, oh my God, I really want to work at Universal. Like, how did you get the job? Like, do you have any tips? Because I've been applying for internships and like no one's getting back to me. And shout out that lady, Fiona, because she didn't know me from Adam. Like we just followed each other on Twitter. Like we hardly ever even interacted. And she gave me the email to one of the HR personnel at Universal. So I literally emailed them. I sent my CV. I remember it was a long ass email. Like it was like a whole Word doc. Like it was long. Breaking down everything I had done at this PR agency, everything I was doing at like Grey Wolf, like everything I could think of that could relate back to this internship, like or like a marketing internship. I wrote in that email. And I kid you not, I sent that email and I just prayed. I prayed like to the point where I broke down. I prayed. Whilst I was praying, the HR personnel came back to me like, great to hear from you. We have an internship vacancy open at this label. Would you like to interview for it? I kid you not, a week later, I was in the Universal building doing the interview. I didn't get that first internship, but then the lady liked me so much that she put me forward for another internship. And funny enough, with this internship, they were like, we can't give you this internship because you're really experienced. You're too experienced for the internship. And I begged them. I remember I begged my old boss. And I was literally like, I need this. Like, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to put in the work. Just please, can I have this internship? And I got it. And that's what really, really, really kickstarted my career. But if I didn't walk those 10 miles, I wouldn't have been able to have the leverage to even email that person and try and bag that role. But that was like a real lesson in terms of resilience for me because I had to do something really hard in order to get what I wanted. And I stuck to it because to me, I was like, this is the plan. This is the strategy. This is what we have to do. There's no question about it being too hard or you don't have enough money to do it. I did it because I knew I had a goal and I wanted to achieve it. And that's what, ever since then, I feel like that's what's really kickstarted though, like resilience in terms of like my goals and what I want to do, etc. But that was a really hard period because I could have really given up. Like I wasn't getting paid for it. I was literally doing 10 miles to come and work for free, but it paid off. What about you?
Cute. So, Jesus, working in the industry I work in now takes resilience. And I'll say that. So, but also what I wanted to say was like, also resilience can be born out of complete crisis and delulu and really implemented there. Because obviously you have this want, you know what you want. And you, like, I don't believe you're given dreams and aspirations for no reason. If you have the capability to imagine it, you've the capability to achieve it. So I remember there was one point where I was working at Office Shoes at the time. And it was great. I was doing really good. Like they wanted to promote me, like assistant manager. It was very cute, right? And it was fun. It was absolutely brilliant. And then literally on the 16th of July, 2016, I had an utter meltdown. So backstory, I'd gone to university, I'd studied media. I'd worked in this collective doing events, PR-esque stuff. I'd worked in another company doing PR for like, it was kind of a music company, but kind of like electronics company as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
that was it. Those are my main things. Yeah, at the time. I'd done, that was like, what I was doing at the time. And then obviously I need to earn money, real money. So I was working in a shoe store, which is cute. And at the point of which they were trying, it was obviously my whole thing is I want to get further. In any job I want to do, I want to, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And then I was fine. It was great. Obviously, it can be jarring working in retail. It can, as we all know, it can be jarring, but I'm great at customer service. I love customer service. So it was fine until the 16th of July, 2016, in which I had a massive breakdown. When I say, like, I was so, obviously it's to do with my birthday falls on the 17th of July. So it's definitely birthday blues. But it was a complete utter frustration at where I thought I should be and the things I'd worked towards and where I am. Excuse me, which is an ongoing theme in my life anyway. But at the time when you're not working in the thing that you've always wanted to work in and you've always kind of navigated a space to work in, because even before then I was like modeling and stuff like that. So I'd always been around a media space. So now I'm just not. And it's really frustrating. So anyway, I remember having a breakdown and I wrote probably 15 goals on this piece of paper. Still have this piece of paper to this day. But also I went on a manic, hyper fixation, apply for every single training scheme that was available. Things that I wasn't even, and you know me, things I wasn't not entitled for, but wasn't even entitled to apply for. Do you get what I mean? Whatever it was, emailing people this, applying for training schemes that is not for people with university degrees. I was just going at it. And I thought none of it would land, to be fair, because, creative companies get how many emails a day? And they never really get back to you because it's such a saturated market, right? And until they did. There was a company who were doing a training scheme for work in TV who did get back to me. And at the time I was they were oh, so you have to be on universal credit. And I was I'm not, but I'll still do this. Please, can we find a way? And then it was okay, well, if you're working, you have to be able to commit, because the whole idea of you being on universal credit was you're not doing anything else, but also people who don't work have the time to commit to this scheme, whereas people that work don't. And I was no, but I'll be able to find a way. And I remember when I went for the interview, when I first started, they were just so you know, we've had people who have had jobs on this training scheme before and they don't really last because it gets too stressful for them. And again, I know my whole being, I've been trying to get here for 3 years. I'm going to make this work. And I was and I was, this, I've always had that attitude. Well, that's okay for them. But for me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, what I said I'm going to do. And eventually, when it came to the end of the scheme, and again, I went through it flying colours, got the internship after that. I was I told you I could do it. And they were yeah, you definitely have the drive in you. And I was I know, thanks. Because I needed it. There's nothing worse than knowing that you should be somewhere and you're just not there for whatever reason. You want it with all your might. So yeah, that's my story of resilience.
Yeah, people, if you take anything from that, walk 10 miles and go on manic fixation and apply for schemes. I'm joking, but yeah, do be resilient. We work in very, very, very competitive industries.
Jesus. The fact that we're still here.
Still here.
We actually have resilience every day, I promise you.
It's crazy. I think when people think of competitive industries, they think banking, etc. Try and be in the creative and actually being able to be paid for it and sustain your lifestyle. That's a big achievement in itself. Trust me.
This 4 years, girl.
What?
We just got here. It was 4 years in the making.
5. It was before lockdown. You said it was before lockdown.
It was before lockdown.
It was 2019. It would have been 5.
Oh.
5 years
that's
in the making.
Resilience.
That's resilience. The fact that we even made it here. I know people are why are you starting the podcast 2024? It's 2019, love.
We had to.
It was 2019.
And the thing is, if the conversations me and Steph have had, it was bugging us for years.
Yeah.
Like it was always
I
something
would
we got to
see
circle back
people
around to.
doing stuff within the podcast space. I was like, that could have been us if we just started and just released that thing. Because we recorded, it just never saw the light of day.
We knew Brent.
We knew Brent.
We knew Brent.
Like Brent has been knowing us, but it just took us this long to get here. But I'm glad that we started it, and maybe this was the right time to start it because actually, now that I think about it, we didn't even have a name when we recorded that last one. So like, yeah, I'm glad we started now because look, this beautiful journey that you guys are following us on. But yeah, resilience. Like honestly, Jeremy Corbyn is just such an inspiration. Like when I see like stories like that, I'm like, yeah, anything's possible.
You can do it.
Like anything is possible. Nothing's hard. But yeah, shall we move on to
Reddit Realness? Jesus. Okay. Get ready for it, guys. My little brother is actually my fiance's kid. Yes, the title is fucked up. I'm aware.
my little brother is my fiance's kid, which means,
Yeah.
okay. Go on.
My fiance and myself have been together since we were 17/18 years old. They are now, my fiance is 25 and I am 24. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect, so this makes everything just so shocking to me. I have always had a good relationship with my mum. It has always been her and I against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always joked we are the real life Laurie and Lauriella from Gilmore Girls.
I don't know who that is, child, but cool.
My mum dated guys on and off, and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early talking stages. Around 4 years ago, my mum told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mum was around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, didn't meet a guy, but knew she went on dates, it was still a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young, and I was an oopsie. And I can tell she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, since she has always supported me and tried to reassure her. She then had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I helped take care of him since he was born, and I just love the little guy. My fiance was always helpful with my brother. We would take him out for ice cream, playground, pool time during the summer, etc. But nothing was weird. He was just my then boyfriend spending time with my brother and I.
She didn't know that she was going on a father-son date?
Now to how I found out. My fiance and I lived together since we finished college. My fiance was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was at home because I didn't feel like going out and I just wanted to chill on the sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died and I was too lazy to get my charger, so I took my fiance's iPad. I know the password, but honestly never used it before. The iPad logged in and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hadn't used it in a while too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out. And of course, I found everything. My mum's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it in my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty but couldn't lose me and they fucked it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never know his dad and if he could live with having his son around, not behaving like a dad, but like a brother-in-law. I broke down.
Sorry?
What the actual F? There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mum pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in the album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what it seems was ages. I waited for my boyfriend to come home. I wish I was one of those women who can pretend and get things together before confronting a cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night, around about 11:30. And I just gave him the iPad with the conversation open and saw his face completely go pale. I asked for an explanation. When? How? Why? And he didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently, a few years back, while I was traveling with some friends, a girls' trip, my fiancé and mum had dinner together. This isn't strange since he's been part of the family for so long. Sometimes my mum and fiancé would eat together at our place, even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how, since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough because they slept together 2 to 3 more times.
Lord.
Using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Huh?
So they're still messing with each other. Even
So, sorry, how can I tell her? Oopsie, fell right into the... Anyway.
I made your brother.
Apparently, when my mum got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided to not tell me since my fiancé loved me and couldn't lose me. And my mum didn't want to lose her daughter. So, here we are now with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement, told my mum to never talk to me again and move in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were like 17 years old. So I want to puke every time I think about how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else while still having those dreams.
With your mother.
I want to puke.
Sorry, I don't even know what to...
I
don't...
Crazy.
I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. Am I choking?
That was really loud in my ears. So it's definitely loud.
I'm going to cut it out.
That's crazy. I think, yeah, we could, again, it's just cut everybody off. Not the brother though. You've got to love him and you've got to love him. Like obviously the poor baby didn't do anything.
The poor baby didn't do that, but it might be best to avoid him too. I can't even lie to you.
What?
She said that she can't be around him. Or she go and accidentally
No, but you got to get over that. You're a grown adult. I know trauma, but for the sake of a child, you kind of got to get over that for him. That doesn't mean now go speak to the parents of that child. Let them rot somewhere. But the baby, the poor baby, man, he doesn't even know what he's involved in.
Sorry, I'm trying not to choke. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know how she would do it. I'll say have some space away from all of them for a while. Get your headspace in the right state. Then if you want to see the child, your brother, you can. I feel like again, it's an innocent baby, etc. But everyone else, sorry.
Also, I think it's important to see the baby just because you don't, like the parents, so your fiancé and your mother created a whole disastrous situation. And now that trauma, because obviously as a baby, he won't know. He had this one person that loved him so much. And now she's just gone. And you know babies are like, where's...
Yeah, but also like if she's feeling a way about it...
True.
I don't think it's safe for her to be around the boy. I just don't think it's safe.
But...
And also, how is she supposed to see the baby without seeing the mum?
Yeah.
So girl, if I was you, cut off everyone. If it takes some time to cool off, if you still want to see your brother, then maybe you guys can arrange something. But like I would say, for some time, just focus on yourself, get your head in the right headspace, because this is a fuckery. You've lost a mother, you've lost a partner. You need time to really decompress, figure out, like, get your headspace in the right mental state, and then make a rational decision about what you want to do moving forward. What does life look like after this for you? What works for you? And then if you see your brother is something that you want, then I'm sure, again, you can find a way to arrange that with minimal contact with your mother. But it is a fuckery, and I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, you should go see the baby." Da, 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 da. It's perfectly understandable if you have if you have negative feelings towards the baby right now, because it's a fuckery. It's a disastrous situation. You've been looking after this boy thinking that he's your brother when really he is your brother, but he's also your fiance's son. It's a messed up situation. It's a very rare situation as well. So I can't tell you what is right or wrong way to react. All I can say is take the time out to figure out what you want to do and what life looks like for you moving forward.
I'd give different advice, but that is very understandable. I would say take time out. I think if you don't, I think it's very possible, especially at that age, to give children trauma. Now, what Stephanie said is right in the case that if you feel negatively towards this baby, maybe it's not safe for you to be around him. But I do think that if you have the capability to love this child and not attach this child to the negative actions of the child's parents, then be there for the child, because their parents didn't put them at the front of anything.
You're speaking from like, I get where you're coming from, but we have to be realistic. This is a fuckery.
No, but I just believe that, like,
yeah, there's
sometimes
trauma, but do you know what's even worse? A child being around someone that doesn't like them.
Yes,
and I can say that's what I said. A child that's grown up in that house where one person doesn't like me, like my parents' partner does not like me.
But this is what she said. She said she loves the baby.
Yeah, before she found out what was going on.
Didn't she say she still loves the baby but struggles to be around him? Hold on.
She struggles to be around him. So why would you force yourself to be around someone and then all of a sudden you're overwhelmed with negative emotions and you take it out on that child?
That's a very different situation, though. Because there's a lot of people. That could be the case, but also might not be the case, because we can go on to this, but we don't have the time to.
No, not like in terms of like beating and stuff, but even just having negative emotions, not struggling to show affection, like things being different. Like the child will pick up on that as well. The child's 3. The mother is still there. His mother, yes, okay, the sister in terms of this woman helped out in terms of looking after him, etc. But if she is struggling to be around him, that's what I'm saying. Take the time out, get your head in the right space, then make a decision about what life looks like after this situation. Do you want to see your brother? Do you want to take some time away? Can you see yourself building a relationship back with your mother? Because at the end of the day, she's not the legal guardian. She's going to have to chat to her mum in order to see her brother.
Yeah, but then again, like, okay, you and your sibling are very close. Do you get what I mean? So now, if something just disrupts that, you both would feel it. Now, imagine...
Yeah, but me and my sibling were both grown-ups. This is a toddler. This is a baby.
Yeah, I do believe that there's irreparable damage that can be done to a child's mental psyche.
I feel
at that age.
You can't force yourself to be around someone that you don't want to be around just because of their mental health. Because again, this is how it starts. Because remember that dilemma that we had about the guy that wasn't showing affection to the mum's kids?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel it either way. So take the time out. Get your head in the right space.
From that point of view, I get it. Okay.
Do you get it? Because if she has to see her mum every time she goes to see her brother, the mood is already ruined. You're just seeing your mum and your fiancé fucking butt naked every time you see her. Then you want to go face a child. We have to be realistic, man. We're all humans. We feel things. But anyway, we can leave that there. Adult finds of the week. Adult finds of the week. For people that are new here, because we have had quite a few new subscribers, this is a segment where we put you onto products that we have been loving, that we've discovered. It could be fashion, it could be beauty, it could be household items, it could be health. This is a segment where we put you on. I'll start with mine. So my adult find of the week, I think I mentioned this in last week's episode. I bought some statement jewelry last week, including these 2 pebble bracelets from a brand called Salvon NYC. It's a Black woman-owned business. She handmakes some of the jewelry, I believe. These particular bracelets she did, they're called the Rocker bracelet. I think they're about 29 quid a pop. A bit spenny, but they are beautiful. They arrived quite quickly. I got them on, I think they got delivered on Thursday. Try them on, absolutely lovely. Just immediately elevates your outfit. And I also randomly found a necklace that sort of matches it at ASOS. It was out of stock, but I signed up for the notification and it popped up at midnight. So I immediately ordered that thing. But yeah, the jewelry there, absolutely lovely. The next thing I want to get is the chrome bubble bracelets as well as the wave cuff. So if you haven't heard of them, it'll be in the description box. Definitely check them out. Really, really, really nice jewelry.
My adult find of the week this week. So I'm in a kind of celebration era of my year, just because there's quite a few birthdays in June, July, including my own. But I happened to come across a random rum shop, like liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
Do we call it liquor store here? We don't.
No. Off license?
No, it's not like an off license. It's like a specialist alcohol.
Oh, I guess a liquor store. I don't know.
We're very American. That was really gross. I don't think it's called a liquor store.
Our biggest audience on YouTube is the US, to be fair.
Is it? Yeah. All right. So we went to a liquor store. And obviously it's more like a wine place, but they do have specialist spirits. And so they were giving out tasters, and I had this really great taster of this rum called Don Papa. And we looked up where it really comes from. And it's a Filipino rum, surprisingly. But it's sweet, it's zesty, it has citrus notes, it's really nice. It's just not your usual rum. Sometimes rum is just hot. This is like a delicate, sweet flavor. It's nice to sit by itself. Again, it's got ginger and like orange, lemon kind of notes. Lovely. And I tasted it and we're like, yeah, we've got to come back because it was deep South London somewhere. And we didn't come back for the shop to be open, if that made sense. We left later. Okay. So I've been on the hunt for it and I finally got it. And yeah, so I think it normally retails for around about £36. Okay. You can guess it. When they have it on promotion, sometimes it'll be like 20, 26, but I paid around £36 for it. But yeah, it's a really, really great rum, like just to sit. It's not even like you can shot it. It's quite nice to shot, but it's a nice sit with yourself. There's some ice. Just take your time with it. It's one of those rums. Sometimes you get the Captain Morgan where we love a Captain Morgan, but its purpose is to be used with mixer. Yeah. This one, I didn't want to put the mixer in. It was just really the flavors were great. So yeah, it's Don Papa rum. We'll put a link in the description.
I'm looking at it now. It sounds great.
It's lovely. It's honestly great.
To try that. And that brings us to the end of episode 16, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. You know what I'm going to do, the usual begging at the end. If you did enjoy this show, please give us a thumbs up, comment. Maybe it's an adult find of your week. Maybe it's a response to this outrageous dilemma. Let us know what you would do in that situation. Like, comment, subscribe as well, please. A lot of you have been subscribing.
Thank you
so much. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please, if you can, please subscribe to us. Not even if you can subscribe to us. If you want to follow us on socials, you can find us on Twitter at WJGH Podcast, Instagram at We Just Got Here Pod, and TikTok at We Just Got Here Podcast. Please, if you do enjoy watching us, etc., please follow us on TikTok. We do put up the snippets of the best bits there. We are, I think, just under 200 followers away from 1,000, which is great. So thank you to everyone that found us through TikTok. We appreciate you. And yeah, you can find me on socials at Steph Achigbu. So that's STEPHACHIGBU.
And I am Tia Honey Roberts. Just that.
Yeah, it will come up on the screen anyway, so I don't know why I spelled it out. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Enjoy your week.